So that just kind of shows people that, like, in a short time, you can build a 6-figure, 7-figure business in a year and a half.
Yeah.
That's wild.
The government needed chocolate squares. Like to eat.
Chocolate
a
squares.
lot of chocolate.
Really? How much chocolate are we talking about?
In the millions.
Like millions of
dollars of chocolate.
I couldn't fulfill it. So I was heartbroken. I remember calling you. I was just like, oh my God, my government contracting journey is over. I screwed up completely. And now.
What's your total amount of awards so far?
Total amount of awards is over 12 million.
Over 12? Golly. Let me hold something, man. Golly. All right, what's up, ladies? How you guys doing?
Good.
Welcome in. How you guys liking Vegas so far?
It's beautiful.
Awesome.
Yeah? It's beautiful?
Yeah. Vegas is Vegas.
Vegas is Vegas. Vegas is Vegas. I love that. So we got some viewers that are going to be watching this. They know me. Some of them know your guys' faces for sure. You know, I'm Dr. West. I've been awarded over $4.5 million in contracts, right? Over 14 contracts won. I would love to hear from you guys the amount of contracts you guys have won and how many contracts you've won. So just so we can edify these people, like, why should I watch this? Why should we listen to this podcast video? Can you share that with the people?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Chrissy. I go by Coach Chrissy. Yes. And I have won, since my construction one, I think over 700,000 now.
Nice.
In government contracts.
Nice.
And then I may be pending another one, but I haven't gotten my award letter just yet. But yeah, I'm over 700,000 now.
Nice. And how many awards did you say?
6.
6 awards. Amazing. Yeah. Amazing. Okay. Awesome. Coach Sheena.
Yeah. So, hi. Coach Sheena, as everybody loves to call me. Mm-hmm. And I've won 6 contracts over the past.
So 6 and 6.
6
Okay.
And 6.
Okay.
Over the past year and a half. So
what's your total amount of awards so far?
Total amount of awards is over 12 million.
Over 12? Golly. Let me hold something, man. Golly.
There's work behind that.
Yeah, there's work behind that. I love that. Okay. And now you said over a year and a half in government contracting. And Chrissy, how many?
And I just hit a year.
Just hit a year in government contracting. Wow. So that just kind of shows people that, like, in a short time, you can build a 6-figure, 7-figure business in a year and a half.
Yeah.
That's wild. All right, I got some questions for you guys. You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right. So before we dive into your journeys, I want to ask you guys a question. What is the most unique or unexpected contract you've ever seen or won? Like something that's just crazy or weird. It might not be one you won, but maybe one you've seen, just to kind of show people out there, what do these contracts look like?
Yeah.
There's a lot. So I actually love the weird ones.
Yeah.
But I think one of the funniest was explosive proof air conditioning.
What?
Yeah, like the explosive proof air conditioners actually go into science labs, and the fumes go through the air conditioner and go obviously in some other place or something like that. I don't know. I don't know the sciencey stuff, but I actually didn't win the contract, bid on it, but I actually found where to now buy explosive proof air conditioning.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Nuts. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I didn't find any weird ones like that, but what I did find
it's out
is
there.
that the government needed chocolate squares. Like to eat.
Okay.
And I'm like,
I say, what else were they going to do with it? Like, put it on their skin.
Maybe,
I don't know. Yeah.
A nice facial.
Maybe. That's actually a good point.
But they wanted chocolate.
Chocolate squares.
A lot of chocolate.
Really?
Yes.
How much chocolate are we talking about?
In the millions.
Like millions of
dollars of chocolate.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Did you bid on it?
I did not.
You wanted to, though?
I wanted to.
Yeah.
It looked delicious.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've seen some weird ones, too. I mean, I'm trying to think. What's it called? Not goat. Is it goat herding?
Goat shearing.
Goat shearing.
Sheep shearing.
Sheep shearing.
Sheep shearing. Yeah.
Sheep shearing, where you got to get a bunch of thousands of goats to go on some grass and eat the grass, and then they got to go over here and eat that grass for months at a time. That's a government contract, right? Mm-hmm. So people watching out there, just so you guys know, there's so many different things out there, so many different contracts out there that. And here's the best part. Do you guys have any experience
No.
in the contracts that you won?
No.
No.
Negative.
What type of contracts did you win, by the way?
I've won contracts for traffic control services, not a traffic controller. I've won contracts for suicide doors. I'm not a manufacturer.
Yep.
I've also shipping containers. Nope. Construction.
Yeah.
I'm not a construction worker.
No.
Yeah, I mean, all different types of things, but I have never been an expert in any of them. Yeah.
I got you.
I mean, I've got lawn care,
Yeah.
snow removal, vehicle maintenance,
Yeah. Wow.
pallets and box crates.
Right.
Just
Right.
a wide variety of skills.
Yeah. Yeah. But you didn't have that background before you got into
No,
this.
I
You
did
just
not.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now I want to know what inspired you guys to get into government contracting in the first place. How'd you get here?
That's a good question. You go first.
Do you want me to go?
No, yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, Dr. West, you know my story, and most of you probably already know my story too if you've seen the video. But I needed a way out. I needed something new. I needed to make money. I was tired of doing things that took up a lot of my time from my family, and also I wanted something for me that basically could change me and my husband's lifestyle and not worry about money anymore. I was so sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah.
And especially in the economy right now, it was scary. It's still scary for some people. And yeah, I mean, I always say to the students, and I say it's like my favorite phrase is, "You're only one submittal away from changing your life," and I needed to change my life. So that's
awesome.
what. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Amen.
So for me, I got into government contracting because I was curious. Right? The background I've come from, I've seen government contracting play out. I just didn't know how to get there, and I wanted to get there because I knew it was lucrative.
Yeah.
Talking to contractors, I understood the game. I just didn't know how to play it yet. So, finding your program, getting into how to submit, what to actually do. After that, it was game over.
Game over. And speaking of that, what was your guys' background? I know some people don't know. Like, your background is military.
Yes.
So, like, what did you do, or what was your background before you got into government contract? What were you doing before?
Aviation management. So a lot of operations dealt with that, air crew, and a lot of traveling. So definitely international.
Wow. So you were in the military, you did that, but you saw these government contracts.
Correct.
You saw that in the field. You're like, someday I'm going to figure out how I get on the end of that
Yeah.
and start making this money.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And then, Christy, I know people know your story, but what were you doing before?
Yeah. So and I'm still a real estate agent right now, but I was also doing all different types of side jobs and hustles. I was doing Amazon Flex, and I was delivering packages, and I was picking up packages, and then I had my own store on Amazon, and I was even doing DoorDash.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So now when you guys heard about the middleman strategy, dun, 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 on the internet, people go, oh my God, the middleman strategy is this, middleman strategy is that.
Yeah.
What was your guys' first impression of the middleman strategy? Is it like, did you just see it and go, yeah, that's it? Or was it more like, how does this work? Like, how did that work? How did that go for you guys?
When I first heard it, I thought it was fake. I was just like, yeah, that's not real.
Yeah, it's too good to be true, right?
Yeah,
Too good to be true.
yeah, and you know the saying, like every time when you talk to someone, they always say like, "Oh, if it sounds too good to be true, it most likely is."
Right.
Right. So when I first heard it, I'm like, no, that's not true. There's no way. But then I was just like, well, what if? Like, what if it is true? What if it does work out? What if it is real? So yeah. I was skeptical, but obviously not anymore.
Not anymore, right?
Not anymore.
That's okay.
Oh gosh. No, for me, it was not a matter of like, is it true or not? Just show me how to do it.
Because you saw it. You saw government contracts and you saw people just coming on bases and like, who are those people?
Right,
like what's going on here?
And I've spoken to contractors before, the contractors that are physically at a desk doing the things. Just how do I do it? For me.
Okay.
Yeah.
With that being said, do you remember your first win?
Yes.
Walk us through it and how that made you feel, that first win.
The first win.
So, I'm sure I've talked to both of you guys. You guys
Yeah.
both called me when it happened. But remind me, that first win, how did it feel?
Yeah.
Walk us through it.
So the first one was actually 2 weeks after my first 5-day challenge, where you just gave us, hey, here's the lay of the land. This is what you do. Go forth and conquer. When my first contract, it was for lawn maintenance.
I remember. Yeah.
And it's $25,000 over a 5-year period. I was ecstatic.
I love it.
Because I was like, I know what I'm doing. Like,
Uh-huh.
I've just proved to myself that, yes, we know what we're doing.
Amen.
And therefore, the floodgates are open.
Yeah. Once you get that first one, it's like, okay, now it's real. I mean, it was real before, but now it's like, you got the award letter. It's real now. Go for it.
Yeah. And all the other emotions came in. Right? Like, oh my gosh, I won an award. Like, what do I do? Who do I call? But yeah, that first one was so exciting. And actually, all other wins are. For me, I still celebrate. I'm still very, very excited about it.
Every time.
But yeah, that first one, wow. Yeah.
So my first win, I was super excited.
Oh,
But-
I remember too. I'm like,
yeah.
as soon as you guys started talking, it comes in my mind. Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah.
I couldn't fulfill it. So I was heartbroken. I remember calling you. I was just like, oh my God, my government contracting journey is over. I screwed up completely. And now I'm never going to be able to win another
What was
award.
it for people?
It was for lodging.
Yeah, lodging.
It was for lodging. And I remember you telling me, just call the CEO, let them know, and they will choose if they want to continue with your company or not.
Yeah.
And he chose a company for additional 25 cents less than my bid.
Wow.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. It was $1.25
Wow.
less than my bid. And I'm just like, it's okay. Dr. West says it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to freak out. And then 2 bids later, I won my other contract. So I was fine.
What was that? That was like next week that you called me, or a couple of days?
It was a couple days, yeah.
Days
Because it
later
was
that you called me. It was like, oh,
my
I won the next
17th
one.
middle. Yeah.
I was like, oh, see, everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Okay. Well, speaking of that, what were you guys say for people out there? What your roadblocks or things that you were like had to overcome, and how did you overcome them when it comes to government contracting? Yeah.
I feel like the roadblock for me was mindset because I never saw it done. I mean, obviously, I needed the assistance to help me, so I put a lot of my trust in my mentor, you.
Hey.
And because of that, it was scary to think like, oh my God, like what if I actually do win? How am I going to fulfill it? Am I going to need money up front? Like,
Right.
what if I have a bad subcontractor? What if the government doesn't like my sub? All of those thoughts kind of went into me. And then instead, I was focusing more on that instead of actually, hey, being positive and everything's fine. Like, this is why you have a mentor. Like, any question I threw at you, and you kind of just calmed me down and was just like, you're good. I got you. Like, you're good.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh, wow. My roadblock initially was starting a new business in a completely new industry. And learning that as I also figure out government contracting. Because after my first win, it was months before I won something else.
Talk about that, because a lot of people, well, in our program, assuming you know, they go out, they win that first contract on their first 5 proposals.
Right.
And they're like, now a month later, 2 months later, they're like,
Right.
I haven't won. Like, what's going on?
Right.
So that kind of happened to you.
It did. It did. It took another 4 months.
4 months after the first win.
After the first
Wow.
win to win another contract. But I was submitting.
You were.
The entire time.
Stay consistent.
Because this was my business. And I was very serious about building and moving forward no matter what was in the way. So, but that was probably one of the biggest obstacles initially because it was like, okay, I'm not winning.
Yeah.
Am I doing something wrong? Am I...
Right.
But as I started getting feedback from contracting officers and realizing that my prices weren't that far off, I'm submitting, or maybe I did not sign an amendment or something like that. It just helped me grow into a better business and making sure my own I's are dotted and T's are crossed.
That's right.
But
Were there ever any thoughts of giving up?
No.
No, not for you.
Not for me.
OBS,
No.
no thoughts of giving up. You're like, yeah, we're going through it.
Yeah, like once you win one and you know that it's possible, it like for me, it lit a fire within me. That was just like, oh my gosh. I was already staying up really late. I don't advise that. But I was already staying up really late and submitting like 5 to 10 a day. I was just like really determined. But yeah, to me, it just lights a fire into you that pushes you to continue to keep going.
Absolutely.
And entrepreneurship for me was the way.
Yeah.
Because there's a huge part of me that couldn't go back to work in an office. And I needed something completely new and different for myself, for my family.
Yep.
So knowing that this model already works and seeing the process play out for myself, there is no, is it going to work?
No,
make it work.
Just make it work. Just keep going straight. Okay. I love that. I love that. All right. Transition to coaching now.
Yeah.
Like, how did that happen? Tell the people. I mean, like, you guys were all students. You're both students. You're in the mentorship program. You both went through the 5-day challenge.
Yeah.
So you guys went that traditional route. 5-day challenge, mentorship program, won contracts. How did that happen? People are probably wondering, okay, now you guys are coaching? Like, how did it happen?
Oh, so for me, I know I was bugging you about like, how do you do this whole coaching thing and stuff like that? And so you knew I was interested in in helping others get
in some
to
way.
where, in some way or the other. And so I was busy building my business, and then you're like, "What do you think about being a coach?" Yes, let's do it.
Yep, I remember.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So, because you wanted to help people regardless, you didn't know exactly how you're going to do it, and I was like, you know what? Let's expand the program. Let's add some coaches, and you're like, yeah, sure, let's do it. Yeah, I love it.
And then for me, because I was winning. I feel like I was winning fast, and the students obviously were seeing that. I had students reach out to me like, hey, can you help me? Hey, how did you do your proposal? Can I see your proposal? Can you help me do X, Y, and Z? And when I was telling you that, I'm like, hey, Dr. West, the students keep contacting me. Like, they keep asking me to have Zooms with them. Should I help them? And you're like, no. I want, like, if you're going to do that, I got to compensate you for your time. Absolutely. Like, you can't just work for free. And I'm just like, oh. And you're like, well, do you want to be a coach? I'm like, okay. Like, sure, I would love to. Yeah. And then when I found that Sheena was going to be, I'm like, oh my gosh, game over. Yeah, sign me up.
Let's do it. Why not? Right? I love it. You know, what kind of does coaching guys bring you excitement? Like, you know, winning contracts bring you excitement. Does coaching bring you excitement as well?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I feel like, you know, what's crazy. I feel like it's a different excitement though.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Well, because I don't want to get emotional, Dr. West, but it's because we really do change the students' lives, and they see that it's possible. So when they win, they're like, "Oh my God, this is real," and it changes everything for them. Their whole mindset, their family, like everything.
100%.
And then we're a part of it, which is like even crazier.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's such a wild ride in an industry that is not always talked about. It doesn't look fancy or flashy or glamorous.
Yeah, it's not sexy. It's not the Toro, the cars, the Lambos. It's not fancy.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's boring. At the end of the day, we tell people all the time, like, you're just getting quotes and submitting proposals and getting quotes and submitting proposals. So but Gar, I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No. You're absolutely right, because we, as coaches, we now get to embed a part of who we are into these students. And we talk about mindset, but it's just the way they go about thinking of how they can reach to their goals in the most non-traditional, supposedly non-traditional way possible, and quickly as well. Like one contract, legit, one of our students won recently, and he's changing his whole life.
His whole life. Yeah.
And you know what also is really cool about it, speaking of that student, he said to me, Coach, this was the one that you reviewed, that you went over, that you taught me how to do this. And I'm like, oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
It's true.
we did.
ain't it crazy?
And you listened, and you took action, and you did it, and now look at you.
Yeah.
7-figure contract, isn't it? Total, right? Isn't
Yeah.
it $1 million?
One
Oh,
point-
yeah,
4.
1.294.
You got the exact number, 1.294, and that's another $1 million contract. So shout out to my frat brother. He won a 1.4 or 1.5 million dollar contract, right? So we got these big, huge contracts changing people's lives. And some of you guys know my frat brother's story. He came to me, he had just lost his job not too long ago, and he was like, not sure what he's going to do in life. He's like, let me pick up government contracting. I'm like, all right, let's do it. Listen to what I was going to tell you. And the thing is, I've been already coaching him for months before, but it wasn't until that happened in his life that he's like, okay, I'm going to listen now. And let me come to Miami. And let me actually plug in and do it. And then that we leave out in Miami, he wins a $1.45 million contract.
And it was funny because we were having conversations with him in Miami, and he was like, how are y'all doing it? And I did this and I did that. And I'm like, don't worry, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And then it happened.
It did. And
it happened fast.
I say it happened fast.
It happened
once
fast.
it clicks for them, shout out JD from Washington. Once it clicks for them, it's just like, oh, got it. Now it just happens. Like, yeah. Okay. What is one common mistake you see students make, and how do you help them get back on track?
Listening to other people besides you, Dr. West.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I can say that, but I'm going to say it.
Oh, wait.
did.
Say it. You said it. I was like,
mean, I
wait.
just said
it.
it.
It just sunk in what you said. Okay.
It's only because there is so much information
Correct.
out on
That's
YouTube,
good.
on
That's
TikTok,
good.
on Facebook, and everyone is kind of like, oh, I'm going to take this, this, and this.
Yeah.
But then they get stuck and they don't do anything, or they're
Right.
listening to the wrong people, and then they get analysis paralysis.
Now it's
Paralysis.
browse,
Yeah.
information overload, all
information
of it. Yeah.
overload. It's
Yeah.
overwhelming, and they
Yeah.
just don't do anything.
Yep.
That's what I've been noticing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Even with the new students that come in, we have to kind of deprogram them and say,
Yeah.
hey, follow the 3-step system
Yeah.
and you'll be fine. You'll win, and you'll win faster. It won't take you years or capability statements and websites and all this insurance, all the muck.
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
It's like you just need to get started.
Right.
So
Yeah.
what about you, Sheena?
Look, if they're
That's
going
good.
to listen to one person, stick to that one person.
Yeah.
Whoever that person is.
I agree.
Because they're going to teach you their way. And that may be the fastest way for you. But once you get influenced by so many others on YouTube or TikTok or wherever, then it just becomes too much.
Exactly. Yeah.
Find someone that clicks with you and your personality, you like the way they teach,
Yep.
and just go straight forward with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that will get you there.
Yeah.
And then the other part is transitioning people from the employee mindset.
Yes.
Into the
Into
business
mindset.
owner
Yeah.
mindset.
Yeah.
Like, let's
Yeah.
actually make money. Don't think
agree,
about this
Sheena.
hourly. Think about how we're actually going to make some money on this contract.
Correct.
Yeah.
And like you're now going to put your worth on that piece of paper as well.
Yeah.
And that's a scary new transition for
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. That's big too. A lot of people won't even hit submit because they're just stuck on like, wait, I'm going to ask the government for 40 grand? Like, no, I can't hit submit on that. It's like, no, hit submit because like
Right.
you're going to ask the government for 40 grand. 100%. percent That's huge. That's huge. And back what you said, Chrissy, I agree. Like, there's a million ways to make $1 million. I say that all the time, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of ways to do government contracting. And I always say this, no one's wrong on the internet
Right.
per se. Everyone's just doing it their own way.
Correct.
But you're right. If a student comes to our program and they look at this way, and then that person, and this person, and that person, they're going to be confused. Right. So if you're in our program, just commit to what we're teaching you, and you will be just fine. Just commit to this one way of doing it. No disrespect to anyone's out there, and you'll be just fine. Y'all agree?
I agree, yeah.
All right. Let's see here. Share a memorable story of a student who transformed their life through the program. Which we kind of did, but any more? I know we got plenty.
We have a lot. So, gosh, which one? There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of amazing students win. Even in the 30-day program
Yeah.
that you had.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's Sean. There's couples.
There's Tanya. I was gonna say even the Tanya. Yeah, there's certain people who don't win right off the bat. We'll say it like that. Like some people join our program a month in, 2 months in, 3 months in, they don't win at all. And they're like, oh my God, what am I doing wrong? Shout out to those students who stayed committed and kept on going because when they eventually win, we all celebrate. The coaches, us, the whole team. We're like, so-and-so won the contract. We're like, oh my God, let's go, finally. And it's like, more than likely it's because they just got to focus on what we told them to do. But that happens a lot.
Yeah.
I think.
I will say one that really stands out to me as well, and he came to Miami, and he's been in the program for a very long time. He wasn't winning first, and then he had 3 jobs. He quit one just to do it. Wow. So shout out to you, Randy.
Randy, what's up? What
so
up?
proud of you. But yeah, I would say his journey, like he was so determined and he never gave up. Yes. And I think that if you have that mindset like Randy, where you would actually sneak out when you have your so-called smoke breaks just to call your subcontractors, that just shows that you were determined to win and you won. So I would say, I would say Randy is one of my favorite stories.
Yeah,
for sure.
I don't know. Piggybacking on that, he was determined to make his business work for him. And I think a lot of people sometimes, because their wins aren't quick, they get discouraged.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it instant gratification, but it's almost like they have to prove to their own self that it could be done. And sometimes the hardest critic.
Yeah.
But honestly, every single student, when they win, it changes something within them.
Yeah.
And you know what? It not only changes something within them, but it also changes the students. Like when Samuel won, we could just feel the energy on our call and seeing everyone's faces, and everyone was cheering for him. Like it was one of my favorite moments because it was like, look, one of you guys just won. Right. See, it's possible. Like you can actually do this. And a couple weeks ago, he was asking us all the same questions you were asking us, and now
we
look,
hear every single week. Huh?
Look, see, I told y'all. Listen.
And what I love about our community is like we are all happy when someone wins. We want you to win. Like, let's see it. Let's hear about it. Let's cheer you on.
Absolutely.
And I think that's such a breath of fresh air.
I agree. I think that like in my getting started in this, I always wanted to know that there's so many opportunities, right? And I said to myself, yeah, Wesley, you've been awarded $4.5 million in contracts, right? You've been awarded more than me. And people say, what? She's been awarded more than me? I want my students to do better than me, right? I want you guys to succeed. Like, that's the point. And like, that's not common in coaching. That's not common in business of wanting other people to pass you up. And I want everyone watching to pass me up and actually go do this, because that's the type of culture we built here, that we cheer each other on. So I love that.
I also want to give you your flowers too, Dr. West, because what I will say too, because you focus on your students. I don't see a lot of people do that in this space. It's more like me kind of thing. But you focus really on the students, which then taught us to, hey guys, I want you to focus on the students too. Yep. Like all of their wins, you give us they have help, everything. Like you are very student result focused. So
it's that teacher background.
Maybe so, right? Maybe that makes sense. I lost track where I was at. That was so good. Let's see. What advice would you give someone who's just starting out in government contract? Did we say that? Did we start that?
No, but we kind of talked about it a little bit.
We kind of covered it a little bit. Yeah. Just staying focused. What would you give? Let's think about this. Like someone's watching and they have an LLC, EIN number. Maybe they got their cage code last week. And they're like, well, now what? What do you say to that person?
I would say join the mentorship program.
That's a good idea.
That's what I would say. I mean, that's what I did. Yeah. And I won my first contract within 30 days. I won my second contract within 30 days. So I would say to people who are new and they're really serious about it and they want to make a change, join the mentorship program. Don't do it by yourself, because most likely you will make mistakes. And it is okay to make mistakes, but it's better to make mistakes when you're in the mentorship program because you have
Exactly.
someone to tell you and review your proposal and say, hey, don't worry about this, look at this, redo it. You know, like you have someone not even just someone, but you have a whole community to back you up.
Yeah.
I would say that, and then I would also say that you may not win your first contract within that first month, and that's okay. But I mean, the data doesn't lie.
That's right.
1 in 20, you should be winning at least one contract.
That's right.
After 20 submittals. So
That's right.
yeah.
Avoid making the costly mistakes. Right, because you don't have that community, that those people who are in the trenches with you,
Right, and who's experiencing it.
Yeah, like even as coaches, right? We are still bidding. We're still hungry. We're still out there, doing the work.
Yep.
And then turning around and also coaching and teaching people, walking them through that process. And that, I think that's just a testament to the program we have here, the coaches that you actually have on here, right? And just how we're not just talking the talk.
Yeah.
Right.
We're walking the walk as well.
That's the biggest thing. In 2024, I know, I got to do the numbers, but I know our goal was to submit one a day, right? 2024. And I think me and my team, I think we've submitted past that number, right?
Yeah.
But that's the point. It's like we were going to show you guys that we're going to keep submitting. We're going to keep actually doing this. Like I know in September, October, I won like 7 contracts, right? I don't ever want to be that coach that's just like learned something, made some money, and like just stop doing it and just teaches it. Like, and you guys are the same way. You guys are actually still winning contracts, still doing government contracting. And that's the coach we're always going to keep here, and I love that.
Yeah.
Seriously. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see here. I think we kind of talked about this, but like I want to like really, I guess, narrow it home for the mentorship program. It's like, do you guys think people should do the mentorship program or the 5-day challenge? What do you guys think? Is it? Would you recommend it?
I mean, yes, of course.
Yeah, if they want to cut time short.
Amen.
Yes.
And I'm glad you said that. My biggest thing is, it's like we sell, there's time and then there's also money, right? So it's like, if you don't got the money, that's okay. You just got to increase the time. It's going to take you to your success, right?
Yeah.
But if you can put some money in there, you can cut down on the time. Yeah. That's all we do is we sell speed, right? We don't sell information. We'll tell people all the time how to do government contracting. I go live every single day. We tell people how to do it. Yeah. But here we implement it. We show people how to implement it, right? And how to do it with you so you can win faster. So, yeah.
And then, I mean, I was definitely one of those that are skeptical of any kind of mentorship or groups. And do I have to go to another meeting or Zoom this evening? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
However, I also understood that it's important to be around like-minded people that are going somewhere, that are doing something more for themselves and want something more. And instead of just being by yourself around your own thoughts.
Yeah.
So there's something necessary in being around a community like that. And then when I started the mentorship program, or adding, let's say, fuel to the fire, right, to my own contracts, or what else can I learn to make my own process better? It made sense. It wasn't I wasted my money or I'm wasting my time. It was very purposeful. The questions were there to be answered when I needed it. And I mean, that's what I needed at that time. And for most students, it's important for them to, especially starting something new, to be around that, be in that community. Because you're not just going to walk outside and go down the street and have another contractor there to help you through or get you the results as quickly. So that was my 2 cents on mentorship and having people around you that's doing this.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And Chrissy, you want to look at it exactly like the camera. What would you say to someone who's been thinking about joining our program but hasn't taken the leap? What would you say to that person?
You know what? I would say, what are you waiting for? Like, what are you waiting for? Like, I have 2 sayings, actually. I always say you're one submittal away from changing your life. And I also say, what if? And that was me. I was very skeptical. You both know I was very skeptical. Dr. West, you know I was very skeptical. But because of that, I pushed myself to say, well, what if? What if it actually works out? what if I actually win? And what if I changed my life?
Mm-hmm.
And I did. So I'm asking you in YouTube land, what if you actually joined us and you won? What would you do? What would you use the money for? Would it change your life? What are you waiting for? That's what I would say. So come join us.
That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. So, guys, you can check out middleman101.com. You know, sometimes we have master classes and webinars that are coming up, so you can check that website out. You also can check out wesleyfisher.com. We might have some, additional information there. And come with us. Come join us. Come see what we're doing so we can help you guys win your first contract as well. Right now, as you guys are watching this, we are doing... Actually, you know what? People hear this all the time in the YouTube land. They're like, 5-day challenge. What was that? What was that? Sheena and Chrissy talked about the 5-day challenge. What was that? Well, it was something we did that was a big, large group setting. It was really impactful. It really changed lives. We've now reconditioned it, made it better, and guess what? We're now doing it one-on-one. So now you can work with Coach Sheena or Coach Chrissy or myself in a one-on-one setting for 5 days so we can get you guys going, get the foundation going, and help you get your first submittals in. So everything that we talked about, instead of it taking you 2 to 3 years, what if we got you started in 5 days? So click the link around this video, check out the website, and you'll find out all the details about the 5-day challenge. Cool.
That's it.
That's it. That's all I got.
Great job. You did good.
That was amazing.
We did it.
Yes. That was amazing. That was good. That felt good.
Dinner time.
Yeah.
Awesome. High five.
Behind the scenes shots.
Behind the
Record
scenes.
our first ever podcast. Wes, how you think it went?
Man, that means to say that sink in. This is our first ever podcast.
That's so cool.
That's cool.
That's crazy. Yeah. Wow. We're doing a lot of firsts. We did the Miami event. That was our first large scale event.
Yeah.
Now we got our first podcast.
Yeah.
Like, wow. I don't know. What's next?
Before the year's up too.
Before the year's up too. You're right. Right. Wow. How you guys feel?
I feel good. It's exciting.
Yeah.
It's like manifesting without trying.
Yeah. In a way.
Ooh, I like that.
Ooh.
Manifesting without trying. Ooh, that's good.
Okay.
good.
We're in the flow state.
Yeah.
Is that what
Yeah.
it's called?
Yeah. No, absolutely.